G'day guys, X2KO here. Today's monitor matchup is between the LG 24MP76HM and the Samsung S24E390HL. Two similarly priced 24-inch monitors with excellent image quality and performance. But is one better than the other? Let's find out. First, let's take a look at the styling. Now, both screens feature transparent elements. The LG has a transparent neck that kind of gives the illusion of a floating screen. The Samsung also has a transparent neck, which has an icy blue tone. Now, this transparent look is also found in the screen bezel, adding a unique touch. However, this does add thickness, meaning those bezels found on the Samsung measure in at a slightly chunky 14mm versus the much thinner 6mm on the LG. From the front, the Samsung is all glossy black. The LG, on the other hand, is finished off in matte silver, so it's less susceptible to dust and fingerprints. On the back, however, it is the complete opposite, with the LG being the dust and fingerprint magnet with its glossy black back, while the Samsung is more resistant with a faux brushed metal look. Both screens are made entirely from plastic. The Samsung is using a 23.6-inch PLS panel, while the LG is using a 23.8-inch IPS panel. Now, both technologies are fairly similar and offer excellent overall image quality and wide viewing angles. The LG is claimed to cover 87% of the sRGB colour gamut. I don't know the exact percentage for the Samsung, but last year's model had 93% sRGB coverage, and I suspect that this year's model is going to be similar. Of course, you can calibrate each monitor to your liking, but in default settings, and to my eyes, the Samsung exhibits more saturation, giving images an impressive punchy look compared to the slightly duller but more natural looking colours found on the LG. If you like that enhanced saturated look, then opt for the Samsung. If you prefer more natural colours, I'd suggest go for the LG. In my testing though, I found the LG able to differentiate shades of black and grey better. For example, I was able to distinguish between the 0% and 3% black levels on the LG, but on the Samsung, I couldn't tell them apart. Now, both units are rated at 250 candelas per square metre of brightness, and in use they appear equal. But the Samsung has the gaming mode that significantly boosts brightness well past what is seen on the LG. So the gaming mode doesn't improve performance though, but I'll talk a bit more about that shortly. Viewing angles were pretty similar, both being rated at 178 degrees, and in testing I couldn't pick out any significant differences. In terms of performance, these two are pretty much identical. On paper, the Samsung claims 4 millisecond pixel response times, while the LG comes in at 5 milliseconds. But in real use, you're unlikely to notice any difference. I also used DisplayLag's input lag testing method to see if one had lower input lag than the other. Now, this methodology doesn't actually test how much lag there is, it simply tells you if one screen has more or less input lag than another, and my results showed these two monitors were identical in this area. Switching to gaming mode on the Samsung didn't alter the results at all. When it comes to backlight bleeding, the LG is a clear winner. The Samsung exhibits a lot of PLS glow. Now, not everyone will notice this though, so if you are an average user and don't know what backlight bleeding or glow is, then it probably isn't anything for you to be concerned about. Of course, the LG suffers from backlight bleeding as well, like any monitor using these kinds of panels, but it is significantly less than that seen on the Samsung. Another thing I noticed was that the LG would actually turn the display off when the screen was displaying solid black. This seems to be a good power saving measure, and it doesn't impact on performance. There is no delay in waking the monitor back up, so this is actually a very good feature that LG have added. Looking at the stand, the Samsung has a T-shaped one, similar to the one first seen on last year's D590 monitor. Now, this design isn't as stable as the more traditional base found on the LG. It is also limited in its adjustability, with its range of tilt being less than that found on the LG, and the Samsung monitor doesn't feature VESA mounting holes, whereas the LG does, so the LG screen can be mounted to third-party stands. When it comes to connectivity, the Samsung has input for one VGA and one HDMI, and it also has a 3.5mm audio out jack. The LG also has one VGA input, but ups the HDMI ports to 2. The LG also has a 3.5mm audio out jack, and it also has built-in speakers, which are sufficient for system notifications and listening to YouTube and light music use. Both monitors use on-screen displays with nice clear layouts. It's easy to find the settings that you're after. The LG uses touch-sensitive buttons running along the bottom right-hand side of the bezel, while the Samsung uses a toggle wheel placed on the back of the screen. The toggle wheel made navigating around the menus much faster and easier, as you don't have to take your finger off the control or your eye off the screen. On the LG, you have to do both. In conclusion, let's recap. Both monitors are equal in terms of performance and viewing angles. The Samsung though has more vivid saturated colours, while the LG display is more natural looking and also has better contrast. The Samsung has the gaming mode to boost brightness, but the LG doesn't suffer from excessive backlight bleeding. The Samsung has an easier menu navigation system, but then LG comes back with built-in speakers, an extra HDMI port and VESA mounting options, and those super slim bezels. So for me, the LG takes the win. But of course, pricing in your region could also play a part in your own decision making. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and it was of some help for you. Thanks for watching.